We're debuting right now, 3:59 on a Tuesday. The hottest segment in all of sports television. Nick Wright dusted off his NBA pyramid, put a new coat of paint on it. It's now the NFL MVP pyramid, and this segment is going to be fantastic. Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. Take it away, Nick.
And I'm not making any allegations about, people leaking materials, but what I will say is this. I submitted this pyramid to our staff of 13 people at 11:30 this morning. And at 12:30 this afternoon, Fox Bet updated their new MVP.
Moving lines.
People are wondering where if there was a little insider trading going on. Bottom row, players 7 through 10. Derrick Henry, Tua Tagovailoa, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow. Derrick Henry's last 5 weeks, 135 yards per game, more than 5 yards per carry, 7 touchdowns. He's done it the last 2 weeks with a rookie playing quarterback who they're afraid to let throw, yet he is still dominant on the ground. I'll tell you the truth, in the Chiefs game, I was a little surprised he didn't get more carries. Every time he was off the field, I was like, yes. And so Derrick Henry carrying that offense with no A.J. Brown. Tua Tagovailoa, 116 rating, 9 yards per attempt. They have not lost a game yet that he has started and finished. He is proving a lot of the Tua doubters, myself included, at least partially, temporarily, slightly wrong. Lamar Jackson, he has had 3 MVP-level games. The reason he is not higher is because he has had 2 awful games mixed in. The other games, he has been good. He is an offense unto himself as they refuse to give him weapons. And then, Joe Burrow. There are not 5 quarterbacks in the league that could have this Bengals team with their injuries and their offensive line with a winning record. He has them there. He deserves to be there. Now the cream of the crop, the top 6. Geno Smith, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen. We'll start with Geno, which Brew usually likes a good underdog story. Brew, I would think, would be very supportive of Geno Smith, the league's second highest rated passer, with the league's leader in completion percentage, a team that was predicted to have the number 1 overall pick. And then I realized why Brew can't support Geno.
Why?
Because if Geno Smith
gets
an MVP vote before Russell Wilson ever gets an MVP vote, the embarrassment for Mr. Quite Limited for the wiki page to not get MVP runner-up before Geno Smith does. Jalen Hurts, really good numbers, really good production. No wow moments, no wow wins because of the schedule they've played except for the Minnesota game. And a victim of a bit of the team's overall success. They haven't trailed in the second half yet, so there hasn't been a great, a bit. There hasn't been a great Jalen Hurts moment. I think he's right in the middle of the pack. And then, of course, Josh Allen, top 5 in all passing stats, especially the turnover ones, interceptions and fumbles, except for passer rating where he's not top 5. He's a dominant rusher, which absolutely helps his case. What hurts his case is they've lost 2 games, and both of them because of his grievous errors. Top 3, Micah Parsons and Tyreek Hill. 2 guys who won't get any votes or any consideration, but absolutely should. Micah Parsons is the dominant defensive player on the dominant defense. His impact is more than his 8 sacks and his half dozen or a dozen tackles for a loss. There are 6 other guys on the Cowboys who have multiple sacks this season because of the attention he is generating. And then Tyreek Hill. He is on pace to tie Calvin Johnson's record for receiving yards in a season through 16 games. He's on pace to obliterate it through 17 games. He also leads the league in passing yards generated by pass interference penalties. He also leads the league in passing yards missed out on because his quarterback wildly underthrew him. I made that stat up, but fact check it. I promise you it's true. He has totally transformed the offense. Jalen Waddle was there last year. He was 103rd in the league in yards per catch at 9.8. Jalen Waddle's there this year. He is 3rd in the league in yards per catch at 17.5 because of what Tyreek Hill, how he has tilted the field. And then, of course, number 1, not just on my pyramid, but in the latest MVP odds fresh out of Vegas, Patrick Mahomes, for the first time all year, is an MVP favorite as he should be. He's the best player in the league. He also has the most comebacks this season. He also is number 1 in yards and number 1 in touchdowns, despite the fact that his team lost Tyreek Hill. So, he's the scariest player, he's the best player, also on the scariest best team. So there it is. There's your MVP pyramid.
Pretty good.
You have a more furrow on your brow than usual. What's the issue?
Look, I'll start nicely. You saved the best for last. I agree Patrick Mahomes is the MVP frontrunner right now. I agree.
We're getting places in
Yes, I'm being nice. Now, that said, I'm Greg, and I hope you don't take this the wrong way. You got Tyreek Hill way too high. All right, he should not be above Josh Allen. He should not be above Jalen Hurts. And he definitely shouldn't be above the guy throwing him all the passes Tua Tagovailoa. Tua should be much higher on this list, Nick. I mean, look, they're 6-0 when Tua starts and finishes the game. That means they're 0-3 when he doesn't play much. He doesn't even play at all or doesn't play much, okay? And Tyreek put up huge numbers in 2 of those losses. Didn't matter. And you mentioned Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle averages 3 more yards per catch than Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, but why?
Because he's good in his own right. He's not as good as Tyreek Hill, but he's good in his own right.
When you say it, you realize it proves
Yes.
itself faulty.
No,
when you're like, wait,
no.
this guy averages more yards per catch than Tyreek Hill. Oh, wait, that sounds silly. It must be because of Tyreek Hill's impact, because you're not actually arguing.
No.
Are you arguing Waddle's better?
No.
Well, then what's the point of the stat?
Here's what I'll argue this, though.
Okay.
Tyreek Hill, Waddle does have twice as many touchdowns.
Okay, so then say
Tyreek Hill has 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
How in the world are you going to be the MVP when 21 other receivers, not
Fair
players,
point. That's fair
wide receivers, have more touchdowns than you? Tyreek Hill's having a phenomenal year. He has made a big difference. The offensive line has gotten better too. That's been a big difference for that offense. Mike McDaniel's done a fantastic job with that offense. But Tua is their offensive MVP. Tua should be the Dolphins' highest MVP candidate, not
You know what
Tyreek.
this smells like, Greg? Whole stinking pile of quarterback bias.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, Tyreek
Well, of
Hill
course, Greg,
is having
I'm gonna say it.
one of
Very
the greatest
disappointed. He's a
seasons
receiver.
in the history of his
Very
position.
disappointed.
Tua Tagovailoa is not having the best season at his position in his own division.
Well, he actually leads the league in passer rating by a mile.
Why?
Thank you.
Because he's average, because he's a 70% completion rate, right? Because he's 15 touchdowns and 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
That's
also,
why.
by the way,
because the
can I
dude
say
is
one other
great.
thing about Tua, just quickly here before we move on, and I'm shocked you didn't make this point or at least acknowledge it. You're saying they're 6-0 when he plays and 0-3 when he doesn't.
Right.
So by that math, he has missed a third of the season. And how are you saying the MVP is a guy who has not been available for up to this point a third of the season?
I'm not saying he's the MVP.
No, but you're saying
he's above Tyreek
Well, Tyreek
Hill.
Hill's been there every week. Been
Mahomes
at
is
work
MVP.
punching the clock. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, I feel really very disrespected.
Yeah,
But
you should.
I actually like the tears, but I would actually like to interest you in adding an individual.
Oh.
Not to shuffle anything around, but just consider a guy. My dark horse MVP at the beginning of this season, Kirk Cousins.
Oh my gosh.
And before
it's out
you,
of control.
Before you, oh my
It's out of
gosh.
control with the
Before
chains
you,
and
oh my
stuff.
gosh, relax.
Yeah, that's.
Let me go into this.
Go ahead, please.
You got to
This
explain
team
this.
has the second best record in all of football, 7-1.
Oh, here he
The
is.
defense isn't great. Their running game isn't great, 25th. So that means they're winning because of what he's doing in the passing game. So for all of you Kirk Cousins haters out there, he's actually delivering, over-delivering, if I may add.
That's true.
Let's go into the numbers
if
really
we put
quick.
Oh, the numbers.
Let's go into the numbers really quick. Top 10 in pass TDs, top 10 in points scored, 7th best on target percentage. Like, the guy is extremely accurate.
Wow.
And hold on, let me continue. And if the game is in the balance, if you want a guy that's gonna actually drive you down the field and win,
If it's Sunday afternoon.
Wait, Sunday
But
afternoon.
if the moon's out,
Guess who's stuck? Guess who's second in the NFL when it comes to game-winning drives? Oh,
Yeah, Kirk
is
Cousins.
it Kirk?
Who's
Kirk
first?
Cousins. Kirk Cousins. It doesn't matter who's first. We're talking about my guy right now. And then we talked about Tua and Tyreek. Well, you know what quarterback and wide receiver duo has the most combined yards all year?
Justin Jefferson. Yeah.
Justin Jefferson.
I mean, there's a
and
valid point.
Those are all valid
Cousins.
points.
But we're
can
not
I-
allowed to talk about the
I'm not
Vikings
saying
on national
you have to alter
No, I get
anything.
it. That's
But
listen.
consider
Honorable
if
mention.
Geno's
so
in
here's
there,
the
why
problem.
can't he be?
Because Geno has been far better
He
than
has.
Cousins. You're right.
Yep.
And on a team with far less weapons, less expectations.
Far less
Geno
weapons.
Smith. Yeah, I mean, I think Jefferson and Thielen and Cook is a great triumvirate. I think DK
Cook
Metcalf
hasn't
and
really been
Lockett
the
is
same
good.
this year.
Right,
And
Seattle's run game.
No, and Kenneth Walker, the Russian rookie. Brew is like the only person in America that is not super happy for Geno Smith and
happy
recognizing
for
that the guy through half the season is on the MVP is on the MVP list. Okay, it's baffling to me, but we can address this later. Can I say something real quick before you get to yours? Kirk Cousins, 7-1. Tua Tagovailoa, undefeated. Jalen Hurts, undefeated. This is why the quarterback wins Jimmy G stuff is such a poisonous tree. Because it leads to Greg Jennings, otherwise smart guy, saying this guy should be an MVP consideration. You know why? Because he's top 10 in a lot of things. Because is the quarterback wins stuff leads us to try to pretend good players or mediocre players are more than they are. Go ahead, Wildes.
Okay, just quickly on Kirk Cousins. We joke around that the Vikings don't get a lot of national attention. I actually think all of like the wearing of the jewelry and him yelling like you like that and like there's a little bit of a social media push. I think that is not just fun. I think it is necessary to kind of galvanize support and get more attention for Minnesota, but we just have kind of put on the back burner. Quickly, I got to make an argument, and I don't think he's at the top of the pyramid. Yeah. But if you're going to put Derrick Henry up there, let's put Saquon up there. Not he can be the double running for comeback player of the year and MVP.
Well, that's Geno too.
Good point. Giants record by Saquon touches. If he touches the ball 24 times, they're 5-0. Less than 24 times, they're 1-2. And I know Dayball's getting all the credit, but let's throw some credit to Saquon as well. Here's the thing about Derrick Henry. Count for 35% of your team's offense. I just want him in the conversation. Yeah. Saquon is back. Yeah. I want him in the conversation. That's it. That's all I want.
That's fine. And if there was a fifth level of the pyramid, Kirk would be there. Saquon would be there. Nicky Bosa would be there. There'd be a few other guys that made it.
That.
But can I tell America what just happened here quickly?
Sure.
Teams under 500 is tough. It is Kevin Wildes, at my behest a month ago, put a sizable wager on Saquon Barkley at 125 to 1 to win league MVP. Yeah, I told you to. I didn't then tell you to use valuable airtime to try to juice that bet, give it a chance. Wildes is insider trading on the show. Wildes is,
I thought you told me to do that.
I told you to make the bet, not to all of a sudden be like, and this is why he's NFL MVP. Just letting America.
That's a smart move, Wildes.
Thank you. Well, it was Nick's idea. I'm getting killed for it. Coming up, talking Luka, who Nick has bet for MVP, by the way, and has put a sizable wager on.
That is true. A lot of money on it. And I'm going to tell you why he's MVP. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.